Okay, we're probably live now. Welcome to YouTube, everybody. If you're watching on YouTube, this happens every week. You can check the chat group, the chat thing for the invite to the Zoom. Oh wait, that was the wrong one. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining. Dante Starshine, welcome to this transmission. So every Thursday, this happens on the YouTube channel, and in the Zoom room, you can always join in. The Pleiadian Council are an interdimensional and extraterrestrial group consciousness that support our planet in this ascension process and support us in getting to understand ourselves better and our intuition better and the workings of all that is better. So many people channel them. Essentially, anybody can learn to channel, whether it is through this sort of vocal channeling or simply through establishing a connection with their guides. It's not that difficult. And actually, the channeling course is starting again January 22nd. It's a 3-month program that allows people to learn how to tap into their intuitive healing gifts and to connect with their guides and even to vocal channel. Several people who have graduated from the course have become vocal channels and have even started their own personal practice. And others have really gone through a huge transformation in their own personal healing journey. So there's a lot that can happen with this, and I offer free program consultations for anybody who's interested. And as well, tomorrow there is the bi-weekly private session. Due to the nature of these times, there's certain information that's censored, and the private transmissions are a place where we can talk about certain things that we kind of use code and kind of talk around sometimes in these public ones. As well, if you have personal questions that don't really feel comfortable going on the YouTube channel or in this group, the private transmission is a great way to have a more personal space and go deeper. So it happened last week, but this week we're doing it again because the following week is Christmas Eve, and I figure that people will have various plans with their families, perhaps. So it's this week instead, and then that will be the last one until the new year, I believe. Or maybe we can do one New Year's Eve, I'm not sure. Dates, numbers, anyway. So you can send donations for this transmission in the link in the chats, and they really support me in continuing to share this freely. And it does take time, energy, bandwidth, which is also a price to share all of these things. So I really appreciate your support. And also the private transmissions are $22 to $33 sliding scale donation. And you can send that and send me an email at Dante Starshine or dante.filippini@gmail.com, and I will send you the link for that. And it's, yeah, same time tomorrow, Friday. In this space, make sure that you're muted when you're not speaking, and everyone has a chance to ask any questions that feel relevant to them, and just make sure everybody has a chance to speak. So if you have like 5 or 6 questions, maybe ask 2 or 3 at once, and wait till the last person is complete before hopping in. And also, if you don't want to speak out loud, or if you have issues with microphones or anything of that nature, you can type the question into the box, and Bastiani today will read it aloud. So I think that's everything that I've covered. Is there anything that I haven't covered that regular people might remind me of? Cool. All right, so enjoy the transmission, everybody, and I'll see you later. Hey, here's some background sound. Okay, I think we got it. Still background sound, actually. Great.
It's quite okay right now, I think.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, that's you.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I'm just, okay. Hello, hello. A good day to all of you. As individuals and together collectively, we thank you for allowing this transmission to take place this moment. As the Pleiadian Council, we speak on behalf of the Galactic Alliance and your own guides, supporting this planet in the process of ascension and traversing towards the moment of open contact through this channeled means. You all have the ability to connect with your own extraterrestrial counterparts and those who are hoping to reach your world, as well as many other spirit guides, ascended beings, and different energy forms that are all around you all the time. We hope that you trust that through these transmissions that you live in a magical world where everything is live, everything is conscious, and you, as a powerful co-creator, have the ability to connect, learn, and grow with the many beings seen and unseen around you. It is a gift for us to meet you, so we thank you for allowing these transmissions to take place. Not only are we in support to you, you support us in getting to experience more of all that is and learn through that experience. And you and we support all that is together and expanding through the ways that we both grow, evolve, and expand our own understanding through our relationships with each other. For this, we are very appreciative, and we extend our thanks, blessings, and love. Let us begin with an opening message, as we tend to do. So today, we would like to speak of parallel realities and boundaries. And you may understand many different concepts of parallel realities. First of all, there are parallel timelines and dimensions. And there are also parallel perceptual realities. Sometimes the difference between these is a bit confusing to convey with language. So we will say that today we're speaking of parallel perceptual realities, and there are also entirely different parallel versions of your Earth that are different from this one. However, on the same Earth, many individuals live within different perceptual bubbles. Again, as one's belief systems shapes the way that one sees reality, like glass lenses one is wearing in front of them, your beliefs make you see the world in very different ways. And you can understand in your world there are many different sources of information, your news, your political agendas, your religions, your spiritual groups, your subcultures, and so on and so forth, that all have their, in a sense, prescribed beliefs. And many of you go through these different ideas and groups of beings and take on beliefs, try them out. Some of you do not consider that these beliefs are optional. In fact, most people on your planet simply accept the beliefs offered from those around them. And when individuals accept these beliefs, they start to experience and see reality in a different way. They live in a parallel reality from others. Now, in your world, you know, there's some 300 nations or countries, and there are many different cultures and states and so on and so forth that all have their own way of seeing and doing things. So there are many more worlds simply on your planet than any of you will be able to fathom in a given lifetime. And this is why traveling, when you can, is one of the best ways to expand your perception. When you find yourself in a totally different environment, you start to see that people don't experience reality the same way that you do from your place and from the different beliefs that you've accepted from various cultures and groups that have offered in all the ways you can. Look and how they experience reality through their beliefs. As when you do this, even internet, you start people have such vastly different lives, and that gives you the ability to question many things that you've taken for granted about the way reality works, the way the world works, and the way that you are. Now, again, we've spoken about this in a variety of ways, that because of various events taking place, your world is experiencing greater splitting between parallel realities. Individuals are experiencing vastly different realities while on the same planet because of the current idea of a certain pathogen spreading and the information shared about that. Many individuals accept notions that certain organizations offer, and that creates a filter of reality through which they experience certain experiences, and it tends to fill them with many fear-based energies. There is another parallel reality that is so influenced by those who offer, again, the fear-based stories about the pathogen, that they live in their own state of extreme fear about certain levels of control. And many of you dance back and forth between these different fear-based groups of individuals, whereas you can, if you would like, step into an entirely different parallel reality of your own, in which you understand regardless of what happens, you are an indestructible and powerful creator. And you have great inner freedom to choose all of those things that serve you the most. Now, the idea here is to learn to create boundaries between these parallel perceptual realities. Understand that when one lives within a sort of bubble of belief, connected with many other individuals who accept the same sources of information, who accept the same beliefs, who start to perceive the world a certain way, their natural tendency is to attempt to pull you into their bubble, to force the same lenses through which they view reality onto your eyes. And this might feel like a pressure when you have certain conversations or when you are around certain people. As we have shared before, standing for your own truth and sharing the way that you truly see things is how you create and enact that boundary. It is how you define where you begin and you end. And this allows you to have a greater sense of individuation and to not feel any pressure to fall into some of those fear-based energies. If you find yourself around individuals who live in a very fear-based parallel reality, and you find any degree of fear or resistance arising within you, that is an invitation to, yes, create stronger boundaries, and also to look at where you might still be holding fear-based beliefs yourself. Because if you were truly anchored in your own love-based, freedom-based parallel reality, you would not have any fear stir. You would be able to sense that fear is the nature of their vibration, yet you would not feel any negative resonance to attune to that vibration yourself. When you create these strong enough boundaries, you can be around individuals who experience great fear and understand their experience for exactly what it is with compassion, allowing your awareness of their fear to bring you deeper into love, allowing the contrast of their fear-based vibration to enforce in your own heart center your understanding and your knowing that love is your focus and love is the lens through which you see reality. This is a practice that will take time, and the more that you find yourself engaging in this practice, the more you can start to have the power to be in the same room as many individuals who live in, yes, completely different perceptual realities, but still be able to have compassion for them. You will start to feel the gap more. You will start to feel as if you are somewhere else, even though you are around many other people. This, in a sense, can create a sort of loneliness. And this loneliness is something that you have to learn to embrace, because many individuals succumb to the pressure to give in to fear because they feel as if to be alone in their love is a greater suffering. Yet you have the power to be, in a sense, alone in love. It is better to disconnect from those in fear-based realities than it is to create strong bonds with them and sacrifice your own love. Understand that even if you are not with other people, you are always with your guides. It is simply that your vibration may not be attuned to their higher dimensional frequency. And by, again, following the formula and raising your frequency, you can then meet those beings that are always around you. Thus, come to embrace your own reality and trust that it will attract many others to you who wish to be in that same love-based reality. Now, as we transmit through the internet, you may find that that is a great way to establish those connections. Depending on where you are in the world, you have varying degrees of access to public spaces where you can co-create in love-based frequencies. Know that you need not convert other people. You simply must stand for your own truth and offer that vibration of love. Know that the vibration of love makes fear clearer, as the vibration of fear makes love clearer. So there's no need to dilute either of these vibrations. Raise more fully in your love and do not dim the light, because if you do, that might keep you stuck around frequencies that don't serve you for longer periods of time. Trust that as you learn to stand for your truth and that you learn to recognize even the slightest degree of fear-based energy within you and question it and investigate it, you will more easily rise to love. Now, you don't always have to investigate. You have to question if it is truly exciting to investigate, because remember, the very foundation for everything is following the formula of following your highest passion, acting on it to the best of your ability with zero insistence on any outcome. And as you do this, your energy will naturally raise and your belief systems will become clear. And as you become more fully and clearly yourself, you will start to attract people who have a more and more resonant and clear vibration that have the same interests, same ideas, same beliefs, and core intentions. It will bring you in alignment with your oversoul and therefore your soul family, as many of you say. We thank you for receiving this message and implementing it in the ways that serve you. And now we ask, in which ways can we serve you, through reflecting upon your questions, comments, and sharings at this time.
Yes, go ahead, Fairy Paul.
Hi, I have a question about my vibrational art form. I light work in a vibrational way, which means I take on the tingling sensations, the frequency of any desire of that's on my mind, whether it's love for all, ecstasy for all, whatever it is. I take on the tingling sensations as if I'm emanating it to entirety uh, when I'm thinking of those vibrations, those aims. My question is, uh, how do I get better at this art form? And will it be better for me to do it in a walking way? I usually walk and dance with this vibrational art form. And when I walk, there's more energy. But when I sit down and lie down, there's more precision. There's more bliss when I walk with it. But sometimes I expend too much energy and get tired, and I need to sit down and do the practice sitting down with more precision. And sometimes I just need to relax and then be in silence or just enjoy a board game as well. And it's not always about just doing spiritual practices all day long for entirety. It's not all about that. It's about enjoying yourself as well in various different ways. Yeah. That's my question.
So in a sense, do you feel as if you've mastered this art form already?
Yeah, I
Attuning a
have.
frequency?
Yeah, to
All right.
any aim I want, I could do it within a second while I'm walking. When I'm sitting down, I can't do it as fast, but still can
Yes.
do it, but just
All
not
right.
as fast. Yeah.
So yes, we would encourage that you listen to yourself. You can do it in any way that you really prefer. Again, as you walk and as you take actions in the world, it has, in a sense, a greater impact. The formula is, again, in acting on your highest excitement. So you can consider those moments in which you are laying down or sitting or, in a sense, turning inward as the moments in which you can gain insight as to which actions are going to amplify that energy the most. What we'd encourage you to do is, as you tune to certain frequencies in meditation, is to ask yourself, which actions, which things could I do in the world would make this energy even stronger for me?
Yeah. Yeah. So the way I do it is any aim that I desire it for entirety, because there's more energy flow when you desire it for entirety. And that's just the way I always been doing it. When you give your energetic generosity in that way, it just flows in like
Yes,
the sublime of all sublime ways. Yeah.
yes. And that is good, that is well. So remember again, desire is there to inspire action. Action is the language of physical reality, and action can be as much as writing about your experiences and offering it to entirety, or making art about it in some way. Though, again, if you really want to offer this frequency to entirety, it must, in a sense, come into some form of expression that can be received by others. There is a certain power of tuning your frequency and allowing that frequency to ripple out into the quantum field, though you amplify it much greater with action.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. Yeah, when I'm in the position, I would be probably setting up light working tribes and doing with the tribe. Uh, yeah, but right now I
All right.
could daydream about that, and the daydreaming of my light working tribe will serve me as well.
Well, yes, but again, if you spend all of the time in daydreams, you will, in a sense, stay in that loop. So actions allow the dreams to come to deeper levels of your being. When you fulfill a desire, you open up the space to discover deeper desires. But if you stay in the realm of desires, you, in a sense, come into a loop only. So you need to, again, enact this in some way for the results to be as clear as possible and to
Okay.
impact as many people as possible.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
Thank you.
Our thanks to you as well.
Hello, Pleiadians.
Hello, yes.
So, a question from Mike. Here is Italy. Many love-based people find they are forced this weekend to change path. All teachers, police, etc. have to change path before Monday. And for example, a kindergarten teacher would abandon 5-year-olds who would be distressed. And many other ways here in this country, love-based decisions are joining the fear timeline. Please comment.
Everyone is experiencing, again, deeper levels of their own inner being and their beliefs. As the collective current moves and switches so frequently, there are certain triggers that activate fear-based beliefs in individuals after being in that love-based vibration for so long. This is a clearing of beliefs that were once unconscious. So we encourage you to, yes, trust the process. Those individuals who are standing up for greater freedom and leaving behind work that is, in a sense, of service to others are still being in service to others by representing their truth and representing the kind of reality they want to see in the world. Sometimes, again, there are decisions that challenge you because there are two different pathways, and both of the pathways serve others. Yet one of the pathway represents a higher excitement. And as long as that pathway is just as accessible and does not come with negative consequences, that pathway will be leading to the greater outcome, leading to, again, the highest potential frequency. So you have to, again, learn to make these decisions for yourself. You may not always be serving the specific individuals you would hope to serve, but when it is most exciting, you will be serving the individuals that it is most relevant to serve.
Thank you. I think, Mario, you're next.
Thank you very much. Hi, Pleiadian Council.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you very much for this interaction. Today, I'm excited to share with you an experience I had during my meditation with my Sasani guide, Wind Wheel.
All right.
I saw him in a winter dark yellow clothes, and he took my hand and he brought me into a winter plain. Everything was white, and at some point I saw that we're in the center of something, and when I looked more closely, I saw that we are surrounded by all kinds of different animals, and we were standing exactly in the circle. And I looked at him and I said, or sent this question, like, what exactly you want me to see here? And he just showed me with his hand towards one of the animals, and it was a black horse who stood it on his two legs. And next to him, there was a very small, tiny little bird. And in that moment, I felt somehow the answer that what I felt was that even though this animal is so strong and so big, that he would never stop and kill the little bird. Just wanted to share with you this experience.
Oh, well, we thank you for sharing. What meaning do you take from this experience? What does it tell you then about strength?
It tells me something that I listened many times, and I'm actually brainstorming on this, that the greatest power requires the gentlest touch. So basically,
Yes.
when you're the strongest one, when you're very strong, you don't need to show it.
Yes.
You don't feel the need.
And that, in a sense, strength requires a level of restraint to hold back any aggression and to step into that degree of great compassion, so that strength really derives from that greater sense of compassion, that connection to universal love that allows you to understand that all is interconnected and all is one.
Yes, yes, exactly. And could I share one very short next one with him again?
Yes.
I saw him in a jungle, and he was with his hands in a river. The river was flowing. He was touching the water, and he told me to put my hand there. And I put my hand, and I was wondering what exactly I'm doing, why I'm doing it. And he said, "Close your eyes. Do you feel the heartbeat?" And in that moment, I opened my eyes and I got shocked. Like, does really water has a heartbeat? But it was really exciting experience.
And what meaning have you made of this dream?
I'm not sure. I was hoping that you could direct me in the direction.
Yes. So The heart is the center through which you establish connection with others. And whether it is other humans or other forms of consciousness and other planes, and even nature, your heart is that center through which energy moves and connects. It is the very center of your being. And so everything, in a sense, has a heartbeat. Your earth is sending out a pulsation known as the Schumann resonance, a very deep, powerful vibration that traverses upward into your world, and you can feel it. And your whole planet, all consciousness forms that you could say, such as the rocks, oceans, trees, rivers, all carry that same resonance. It is alive within them. So you can connect with your heart to feel the heart of other beings. Even, yes, trees, rocks have, in a sense, a heart resonance. You can come to understand through your own heart that everything is relationship. You are in relationship with all of the different spirits around you. Even, yes, natural places have a spirit to them. And indigenous and ancient people recognize that each mountain had its own spirit. Each mountain has its own heartbeat, as does every forest, every river, every ocean, and so on and so forth.
Thank you very much for this beautiful answer. My unconditional love to you.
Our unconditional love to you as well.
So one more question here from Crystal. I keep feeling like I have beings around me and have been hearing intense ringing in my left ear. I attempt to focus on my thoughts at that time so I can try to understand. Is there something more I can do, and do you know who they are?
The beings that are working to connect with you are, yes, your own guides. We will not reveal at this time who they are, as it is more powerful if you inquire within as to who your guides are. As you hear this sound, we encourage you to not focus as much on your thoughts, but focus on the sensation and the quality of the sound, and focus on your entire head. And also focus on the ear in which you are not hearing the sound. Imagine the sound to be a subtle frequency that is coming to you from above, and your ear is simply attuned to that frequency and letting it in. Then imagine then that frequency might have a color or a light or a shade as it descends and enters your ear. Imagine that that frequency can enter your other ear as well. And as your both ears hear that same frequency, attempt to bring it to the very center of your head, your pineal gland. Imagine the frequency that you are hearing starting to vibrate your pineal gland. Go beyond the thoughts and more into the experience of colors, images, sound, sensation, and non-rational thought. You will experience much more in that imaginative way, and you can, yes, use your focus and your imagination to move this energy around. Whenever you are hearing these subtle frequencies, it is most helpful to hear the sound with both of your ears rather than just one, as it creates harmonic balance.
Thank you. Go ahead, Kay.
Okay. Thank you. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I am glad to be here with you again. So I have questions. I would like to know what our guides do. What is the kind of day-to-day life for the guides, for our guides?
Well, again, understand that your guides do not live a day-to-day life. They don't experience time as much. So their experience is very non-linear, just as if what you experience in a dream were a lifetime. Know in a dream that you can move from one place, from one setting, from one scene to another very quickly. And so the experience of a guide is like that. As soon as they focus on one reality, they shift into that reality. They can use their focus to move from place to place very quickly and easily. The guide is, in a sense, shifting from many different realities and in quick succession to gain experience and to connect with various beings. There is, again, less of a delay and a very different sort of experience that we couldn't necessarily translate perfectly to you. Though, again, imagine guides have many different relationships with beings in different dimensions. So they shift between those realities to sort of have a more complete and grand perspective. Now, that's something that is general about guides, but understand that there are so many different kinds of guides. There are some guides that are entirely non-physical, and that would describe all of their experience. There are some guides like ourselves that are quasi-physical, meaning they have that more ethereal, dream-like experience of moving between realities, but they also have a reality to which they return that is physical-esque. So this sort of experience of a guide is very different from being to being, and you would gain the best insight to ask guides specifically what their experience is like.
Okay, so that means if I reach a certain level, let's say I still continue to have lesson in my development, and I want to, my next lesson, it's about this theme, and I connect in this frequency, and now it's appear I am a guide for Paul. Because I embody the frequency of being his guide, but I don't know Paul. I have nothing to do with Paul, and I never knew it. That is true. That is how it look like.
Well, you can become a guide when you are born into spirit and you leave physical reality, yes.
Okay, so when you reach a certain level, you can have an experience
Well,
of
it's
being
not as much about being a certain level, it is about leaving physical reality.
Leaving
in a
physical
sense, you are
reality.
already a guide to many of your soul counterparts without necessarily knowing.
Okay. Okay, so
Meaning that in your
or
dreams, you are having experiences where you go to other realities and you serve these beings.
Oh, it's really complex. Okay.
Yes.
So there is no definition of being a guide. It's only about being at one moment and giving some help.
We have given you a definition of what the experience of being like a guide is in general, though it is different for every guide.
Okay. 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 I have thank you. I have another question. I have a dream. This night I was with two groups. We were walking in carrying something in another place. And do you have more information about this dream?
What were you carrying?
I don't know. I was working with two groups, and we were carrying something to another place, and we were working together, the two groups, in carrying this thing. And I don't know if I was doing something with ETs, or I don't know what. I don't have more information.
This was a message in a sense, translating to you this understanding that you are on a mission. You are working to bring a certain frequency that translates as an object from one place to another. So as you come clearer and clearer in your dream recall abilities, your dreams might reveal more information to you.
Ah, okay. So I thought the dreams were a remembrance of something, but you are saying the dreams are more a message. They are not
Yes.
remembering of. Okay. In every time, or sometimes dreams
No,
are
there are
actually.
very different kinds of dreams. There are many different kinds of dreams.
Ah, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for
Thanks to you as
every
well.
time you
Yes.
help me. Goodbye.
Goodbye for now.
Hello, Pleiadian Council. And
Hello, welcome.
thank you, and thank you again for this transmission. I'm so grateful. I have a question. Well, first I wanted to thank you. As always, you have incredible insights to share, but some insight last transmission about some exercises to help me move some energy in my upper abdomen. And that's been helping quite a bit to move some energy. And I wanted to ask you a little bit more about that.
All right.
I did some stretches, the exercises that you recommended, and poses, and I was taking a breath test on my abdomen and noticed the position where the main heartbeat has moved a bit, but it's still quite strong. In fact, it almost feels stronger in a spot between my navel and my lower chest. And I'm just curious if you have any insights about that, or maybe some further guidance about breathing exercises that can help me move that energy. Thank you so much.
The heartbeat is stronger, but it has not moved. But the strengthening is a good thing, meaning that you are, again, expanding your heart and strengthening the heart. So we would also suggest for you to do long, deep breathing practices involving full belly breaths. If you have learned full and complete yogic breaths, we would encourage you to deepen into this practice and accentuate the holds, especially the hold in as well as the hold out. They are both quite important. Knowing again that the more breath you bring into this area, the more that you will gradually bring that pulse to go deeper and deeper and lower.
Okay.
You may also want to look to levels of stress or anxiety. Is this something you sometimes still experience?
My stress levels and anxiety levels have been less. However,
yes,
I think I have yet to maybe identify what some of those anxieties might still be and dig deeper into that. But I do feel that both my stress and anxiety have lessened significantly recently.
In general, what are you believing that is causing the stress? Are you putting pressure on yourself to be or do something?
Yes, that's
so. Recognize that the pressure to be or do something is insistence, and the insistence stems from a belief that you might not be enough unless you do or become something else. So when you realize that you are perfect as you are, and when you realize that the striving to be or do something different than your natural state is ridiculous and not helpful, it will be easier to relax into the now. So this will bring you again deeper into your center. And as you find greater ease, you will experience greater calming and allow this center of the belly's heartbeat to travel again lower to where it's supposed to be.
Yes, thank you. That's
Yeah.
extremely helpful. I appreciate it, and my love to you. Thank you.
Our love to you as well. And we will also say that the practices of Qigong and Reiki will be very helpful as well. If you can learn these practices, this will support you. And the simple practice of simply, yes, holding your hands on your stomach and holding your hands on and beneath your navel and intending for the center to travel there will greatly support this process.
Thank you. And might an energy belt help as well?
Yes.
Okay.
If you're attracted to that permission slip, it could be useful.
Okay. Thank you again, Pleiadian Council. Appreciate
Our
it.
thanks to you as well.
Who goes?
It's Satyara.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, Satyanarayana.
Satyanarayana. Hello, Pleiadian Council.
Hello, yes.
I send love to you and your 7 sisters of Pleiadians.
What was that?
I send love to you and your 7 sisters, Pleiadian 7 sisters.
Oh, yes, we say hello to you as well.
Okay. Thank you. I read yesterday about Pleiadian meditation technique. I noticed that Pleiadian's life and information. It is fascinating to me. About Pleiadian's soil is instantly growing plants, and they raise almost 700 years, and they change without money. And that is super fascinating me. So my question is, one of the channels and other channels are said maybe energy is a spiral one. You already said to energy is a and maybe prime creator created energy is like a spiral. So how the spiral works? Can you tell me the spiral work? Hello?
We are having some difficulty understanding you.
Can you listen again? Can you listen my voice clearly now?
Yes, but your accent is still a bit challenging for us. Say it one more time.
Okay. My question is energy is a spiral one. Okay.
Energy is what?
Hello? Spiral. Prime creator create energy is a spiral model.
We are sorry. We would request that you type your question via text and have somebody read it.
Okay. Can I ask another question? Can you tell me the present day the virus is hello?
We ask that you type your questions via text and have somebody read them because we are still having difficulty.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes,
I will.
Thank you.
Note that.
Okay, so I would love to ask a question.
Yes.
A few months or maybe half a year ago now, I moved to this dream house. The
Congratulations.
house. Thank you. The house in itself and the location just by the sea and the forest, and it feels like a temple inside. It's absolutely mind-blowing, and I'm so grateful to be here. So there's one catch is the owner of the house and her husband. They live just beside me, and she is a very angry person.
Alright.
She has this incredible dragon that can come pops up very easily, and out of just nothing, you know, she can really explode. And so it's quite a challenge, and I have been really so far taking this opportunity to not go into the drama and breathe into the feelings that come up after she has been spitting some pretty intense fire at me. And so far so good. But just when you were giving the introduction message today, she was ringing me and then knocking at the door. And she's very mad right now because she has been disturbed 2 days ago at my birthday from some friends while she had some clients. And I can feel this fear rising. Yeah, it's quite a balance to find between not letting her walk on me, as you say, and because I just don't want to lose this amazing house I'm living in.
Alright.
And another thing is that she's the only person in my life that where I feel confronted regarding this COVID-19. I don't have any problems at all in my works or with my other relationships, but she's very much into this fear. So and it's starting to show more and more. So I would love to hear what's your sense around that.
Can you experience this anger as simply energy and hold your frequency of love through it?
Mostly, but I mean, sometimes it has been so extreme, like it was completely crazy. She was so mad at me and she was keeping on, and I had to tell her to stop, and she left in anger and she threw me out, and then she comes back and said, I'm sorry, and I'm really not going into the drama at all, but it does affect me when it happens,
Yes.
you know?
So you have to ask if dealing with this is worth the place, because if it is, and if the place is so preferable that you are willing to deal with this challenge, you can, in a sense, learn how to transmute this energy through your system. Imagine that this anger is a great fire that comes into your own auric field. Yet, as it does, imagine that crystal chamber of light again, connecting you to the center of the galaxy and connecting you all the way down to the center of the earth. And imagine this fire that she sends you simply traveling through this tube and dissolving. As it dissolves through your field, imagine more love pouring in. If it helps to visualize this or use a mantra in these moments to keep yourself focused on this infinite light, you can, in a sense, let this energy move through you and, in a sense, help her in her process of transmutation. Through her outbursts, she is transmuting her own negative beliefs. In a sense, you are helping her in this process. You can, in a sense, in moments of great greater peace, communicate to her that it is an unnecessary toll that you are paying of helping her deal with her anger. And you would appreciate if she works with this emotion on her own before she expresses what she tries to express. Perhaps sharing it in text or writing ahead of time would be more helpful. There are ways that you can negotiate, perhaps, though also you can, in a sense, stay clear in your source connection so that this emotion does not stick to you and instead brings you deeper into compassion.
Yeah. Yes, I understand. It resonates, and so I mean, there's no way I'm going to try to negotiate something with her. It's not going to happen. But I mean, I can see the gift she has from me, and what my gift is for her. Um, I'm.
Are you comfortable with the emotion of anger within yourself?
It has been. It's very recognizable from what I've been experiencing from my mom. I mean,
Yes.
so I know this very well, and well, yes, it helps me to work deeper into embrace.
So in a sense, this old pattern that you picked up from your mother and that story of being the victim of somebody's anger now has the opportunity to replay through this other woman. It is, in that sense, an invitation to reparent your inner child and guide them with compassion to understand that they don't need to take on this emotion.
Yes, and you ask me if I feel it's worth it to continue to. Do you have any feeling on that?
Well, what do you suppose? Is this place so special to you that you can deal with this process? Can you trust this process as a healing and as a clearing? And is there a point at which you understand it is too much for you to deal with?
It's the first time, like tonight, right now, that I feel that it's getting too much.
All
Up
right.
to now, I have felt a deep trust in this whole thing.
Yes.
But now I feel this fear that she's going to tell me tomorrow that I have to get out. And yeah. But it is a very special place, and it's very cheap, so it's quite unusual.
Well, if you were asked to leave, trust that you are being redirected to a better place.
That's what I'm thinking.
So again, have no insistence on the outcome. Know that this situation is, in a sense, here to help you reprocess some of the unprocessed memories of your childhood. And as you gain greater strength and compassion for your younger self and integrate the trauma that was not yet processed, you will gain exactly what you need to gain from the situation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much.
Our thanks and love to you as well.
Crystal have a question. She has a question.
Yes.
I will read it for her. Okay, one moment.
All right.
Crystal says, if I may ask, okay, how can I complete a karmic cycle with someone in this lifetime so it does not get repeated again? Question mark.
Well, understand even inherent in that question is a degree of insistence to not repeat the pattern again. So if you have that insistence, it means you are in resistance to the karmic pattern itself. Now, what is a karmic pattern exactly? It is simply the result of a belief that you've learned. When you experience trauma, you learn a belief about yourself that keeps you in a certain energy holding pattern. That energy holding pattern will attract again the same sort of situation again. So the best way to not attract it again is to paradoxically be okay with it happening again, to understand that every time you find yourself in that same dynamic, you are shedding and peeling back another layer of that belief. So having compassion for yourself and the suffering inherent in that process is key, and having compassion and suffering for the other person is key. Now, if you let go of all insistence, the best way to make sure this pattern doesn't happen again is to look to the quality of energy inherent in the dynamic. What were you feeling, thinking, and believing that led to that outcome? And also, what was the other person thinking, feeling, and believing that led to that outcome? It is often that you are playing complementary roles. The roles uphold each other. If, for example, it is a common role in which one person is codependent, the other is narcissistic, you can look to the qualities of energy that make that happen. And when you come to recognize it, you can start to feel when that certain pattern is happening again and interrupt the cycle. The key is to not lose yourself in unconscious emotional reaction. When you can feel the emotion and you can be aware of the belief and you can take a step back and go into meditation or go into a reflective counseling process, or you can go into a journaling process where you make yourself aware of your own thoughts and your own emotions and the energy that you are giving to the other person, you can remove yourself from the situation while you are in a reaction mode, and then come back to the situation from a place of having integrated some of those emotions. The more that you learn to do this, the more, or well, the less you will experience explosions in your relationships.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I have a question. The first question is something it's a new feeling. I kept noticing when I end a meeting or a discussion or meeting or talk with someone. When the meeting ends, I kept tracking and feeling and continuing the discussion and the meeting, even if the moment has finished. And it's strange.
All right.
Do you have
So
an insight? Thank you.
was there something you did not say in the meeting? Were there thoughts that you were having that you did not fully communicate? Because that is likely what will keep you playing out a certain discussion.
Okay, so it's not the ego trying to control the discussion.
Perhaps it is that to a degree, but most of the time, if you find yourself stuck in the discussion, you are replaying it because you wish you had done it a different way, or you wish you had said a certain thing. So again, the more you step into things from authenticity and transparency and don't hold back your truth, the more you will be able to walk away from the discussion without getting stuck in it. And of course, you will still think back on it. And that is not necessarily bad. That is what allows you to take the lessons inherent in that discussion and integrate them.
Okay, thank you so much. Can you give us information? What is Shambala and what the people in Shambala does, please?
Well, Shambhala refers to a certain dimensional plane, a certain higher astral plane, you could say, where those beings that have ascended go. So it is the realm of which those beings who reach a certain level of consciousness in this lifetime reside.
Okay, thank you so much. Goodbye.
Yes, sir. Goodbye. Our thanks to you.
So I'm going to read the question from Satyanarayana. Everything is energies exchange, transfer, and also energy is spiral. So Pleiadians have also energy that is spiral. Is this true or not? I think it's true. One more thing. How to catch them with physical body? How used to ascend for meeting Prime Creator?
All right. Does all energy move in a spiral? Yes. Again, your chakras are continuously spiraling. Beings in higher dimensional planes have the same spiral motion within their chakra system. And in a sense, the spiral reflects the quality of energy that is always vibrating. Now, if you were able to see and dissect these things, you would see very complex geometric patterns that make up beings incarnate in any particular dimension. So yes, energy does move in spirals and cycles. How to meet the Prime Creator? Well, again, that is source, and source is inherent in everything. So you do this best by, again, following your excitement without, to the best of your ability, without any insistence in a particular outcome. Know again that the feeling of excitement and love expanding is source calling you back home, essentially. It is source inviting you to return into that state of source consciousness. Whatever you do that is exciting for you is guiding you back into a greater state of unconditional love. And the more that you can anchor yourself in that state, the more that you will embody source consciousness. Again, recognize that source is not something separate from you. You are not separate from source. You are one with source innately, and excitement is the way that you come to know that oneness.
Thank you. We have some questions in the YouTube chat.
All right.
Yes. Hello, Pleiadian Council. Would you like to comment on what I have received earlier? Love is the only truth. I am Christ. Oh, thank you. There are supposed to be pauses between truth and I am, as well as before Christ, as well as oh. So, love, let me see. Love is the truth. I am Christ. Oh.
All right. Yes. Love is the truth. It is, in a sense, a higher truth. Love is, again, the foundation of the universe, this particular universe. It was based on unconditional love. So source is, in this sense, in your universe, only unconditional love. And source offers you the experience of duality so that you can come to learn love better. The beings that do not experience or vibrate with love do that through their free choice. And they, in a sense, feed off of love from other beings. So love is all there is, and therefore love is the highest truth. Christ is also love. Christ also refers to crystal. Crystal is the structure of the sacred geometries that make up many layers of reality. So I am love, I am Christ, I am truth. Yes, all of these are true. This is source consciousness manifesting as different qualities, and you are coming to know that that is essentially who you are. Again, this path of ascension and awakening is coming to know yourself as source, coming to embody that quality of unconditional love in all that you do. You do that through following your passion to the best you can without insisting on any particular outcome. And the more you do that, that energy of excitement translates to immense and powerful unconditional love in your being. You come to live in states of bliss and joy most of the time, and that energy ripples out from you. And the more individuals doing that will, again, inspire others to do the same, and your whole reality will become saturated and inundated with that great unconditional love.
Thank you. Any other questions in the Zoom chat before I read a question from the YouTube chat?
Actually, I have a question, if it's okay. Then if no one else has, who hasn't asked anything yet. Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Pleiadian Council, for another question. So I had a dream last night where there's a certain part of the dream where it was a long dream, but there's a certain part of the dream where it felt extremely real as far as sensation. There was a dog that was licking my face and my ears and around my head, and it felt extremely real. And I could feel the sensations. And then soon after that, I saw a baby pig that came into my dream and laid down next to me, and I was petting this pig, and I could feel the hair on the pig. And then the sensations went away. And I'm just curious if you have any insights about this particular moment where I felt a lot of sensation and a lot of sensitivity. Thank you.
This is simply your psychic sense deepening. The more that you practice expanded states of awareness and go into your dreams with more consciousness or lucidity, the more you can experience the sensations and the qualities of your dream as just as real as physical reality. Because again, your dreams are just as real as physical reality. And yes, they go away. You snap out of that lucidity at times. That is well and good as well. And again, when you have no insistence on the outcome, it allows you to maintain those states for longer periods of time. So relax into it is what we would encourage you to do. Simply be present with the sensations and enjoy them when they're there, but don't attach to them. If it fades away, that is also well and good.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. My gratitude to you.
Thanks and love to you as well. Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna read another question from iMark. I'm going to get into meditation a little more and decided to buy a candle to assist me focus more deeply. Any tips for me? Thank you.
Well, one of the most powerful ways to meditate with a candle is called tratakam, or tratak simply. And this is an ancient practice that is common in schools of yoga and other Eastern philosophies. And ideally in a dimly lit room or completely dark room, you place the candle at a level where you don't strain your neck to look at it, and you gaze at it. You gaze at it for a period of perhaps 10 to 15 minutes, as long as it is comfortable, and then you close your eyes. You focus on your third eye with your eyes closed, and ideally there is a visual impression left of that candle. Then as you open your eyes again, you might find that flame still flickering in other places in the room. But ideally, yes, you keep your eyes closed for a period of time afterwards. Sometimes if you do this correctly, you will start to be able to see auras around the candle and auras around objects within your room. This can open up great gifts within you if you would wish it to. And you can also use candles with particular intentions. That is a more shamanic practice. You can ask for the candle's light to bring in a certain gift as well as to burn away a certain quality. Candles, in a sense, are useful for prayer as well. And one tool that you can do to use candles in a magical way is to carve a certain glyph into the candle that has personal meaning to you, and place some oil or with essential oil on the candle, and light the candle as an offering with an intention. That is, in a sense, a more magical way to use the candles to call in your intention. You can look up any of these practices and find various different suggestions and individuals' takes on them. Apply these tools in your own unique way, trusting your intuition, listening to your own excitement to find ways to use these tools in the best ways for you.
Thank you. One more from Mike Mendes. I have such a difficult time manifesting financial ease. Things are getting worse as I meditate more daily on wealth, etc., etc. How can I shift to parallel universe where I thrive financially?
Like we said to somebody earlier, you cannot simply meditate on a frequency and expect to have it. You have to act inspired by that frequency. So you have to take actions that lead you to greater wealth. You have to take actions that are exciting for you, and think of also the ways that you might be able to gain money. Keep acting on them and see what results they have. Don't insist that they pan out, but simply intend that regardless of what happens, you learn lessons as to ways to make money in easier and more helpful ways. Believe fully that you are deserving of the money. If you don't fully believe that you deserve it, you might not have it. When you fully believe that you deserve it, you do everything it takes to get it, and you maintain that high frequency love-based energy, you will most certainly get it in the times that it serves you. Be careful of vibrations of desperation, because the fear-based vibration of desperation inevitably pushes away the things that you are attempting to pull in. If you are feeling it, allow yourself to feel it. Don't resist it, but use your breath, your love, your intention to clear that energy through your system. Know that as you feel that emotion, it is clearing through you. Allow it to be a process. And again, remember that you have to take action in order for things to come about. So if you find that meditating on wealth itself is not helping you, then stop meditating on wealth and instead meditate on excitement. Meditate on service and excitement for being of service. And find your passion for services that you can offer that in turn will allow other people to pay you for doing what you love.
He wrote something else I didn't see. It says, I've received so many angelic signs, but financially, how can I see the millions of dollars that I know I have? I feel like a millionaire. Life is amazing, and yet it's not in my physical reality.
Again, you manifest these things by taking the actions. So you have to question if the actions you are taking really line up with making money. You can take actions that line up with spiritual bliss, but you also have to take actions that align with material wealth. They can come together, though it takes practice to learn both of those frequencies. The signs are showing you that yes, everything is well and good. So in a sense, you might be insisting that money arrives in order for you to be well and okay. There might be other ways of manifesting abundance, abundance of places to stay, abundances of food, abundances of connection. You might be able to exchange for those things in ways other than money. So be open to that as well. But again, if you want money, you have to take the action steps in that direction.
Thank you. Another question from Satyanarayana. It's about free will. We humans have the part of prime creator. We have free will to move forward. So I think we humans wish to take our karmas or leave it with our free will. Is it true that we use to use free will to complete our karmic cycle?
Yes, you are using free will to complete, again, your sole purpose. We wouldn't necessarily call it karmic cycle, but you can use that term if you like. Again, certain things are destined, but those things are chosen at a soul level. So that is a different level of free will. Again, before you were born as a soul, you saw the particular embryo and the particular birth circumstances that you were choosing. You knew that it aligned with your oversoul and with this specific soul's purpose. All of the challenges you agreed to. That doesn't necessarily make up for the injustice and unfairness of your planet. You are, as a collective, still working to make a planet where everybody can incarnate into equal levels of power, love, and freedom to an extent. So yes, certain things were destined, but they were chosen at the soul level. And everything here is a choice. You choose the actions you take, and you also choose the thoughts and beliefs you entertain. So even though you might be stuck in certain circumstances, you still choose how you perceive those circumstances through your beliefs. And therefore you choose whether a situation that is painful becomes great suffering, or to simply a limitation that allows you to grow greater spiritual power, greater power to maintain a love-based frequency and to follow your passion despite what might hold certain aspects of it back. To work with your passion and follow it to the best you can without insistence on outcomes with limitations is, in a sense, what allows you to find the particular pathway that serves you most. If you did not have limitations and had truly endless possibilities, then you might not know exactly where you are supposed to be going. So the limitations, in a sense, can simply be the trees that align the right pathway in a forest, showing you the road that you are meant to take. Because if you would simply walk aimlessly through the forest, you might not end up at the right destination. But the limits of the trees and the branches and the various things that carve out the pathway is what steers you in the direction that you need to be going.
Hello, great council. May I ask a
Hello,
question?
Yes.
I love the entirety of the transmission that you have brought. I thank you and everyone for all the questions, so many resonances. I'm currently in an interesting little turmoil situation where there is construction continuously, maybe it's coming up through the mic, hopefully not, continuously occurring in my area. And I I'm no longer in a possibility to move out. Dust keeps cropping up. Finances have kind of went down because of I can no longer do voice acting with this construction, and even with a bit of a stalemate when it comes to the landlord, because the situation has been caused by their continuous workings in construction, while that kind of ruins certain opportunities. So what's interesting is, yes, they're requesting for their now it's maybe going to up to 3 months in backlog, yet I'm still kind of unfazed, not in a combative situation, yet at times I do feel, like someone prior said, this kind of snappy conversation in the mind, which eventually kind of balanced out in a sense towards trying to help them and feeling compassion. But I'd like to find a way to get out of this situation. And if you have any advice for me, I would be completely just open for anything, everything. Thank you.
In terms of the voice acting, can you do it at night?
I would not want to disturb my neighbors, but I could try to sneak in a few lines here and there for certain contracts.
Well, in some senses, they are already disturbed. So you are only, again, working with the circumstances that you have. Sometimes you have to disturb other people to follow your passion.
Quite true. Okay.
Just as you are being disturbed now. So that might be one way of working with this so that you do not take too much extra strain in the process. And to, yes, find ways to buffer from the sound when it is disturbing for you will also help you. But also you might recognize that the sound is simply vibration. As we suggested with somebody earlier, imagine that pillar of light surrounding your body and feel the sound as a frequency. Imagine the sound simply coming to your body and passing through that pillar of light. Know that then what the sound triggers in you is what you might be releasing. Notice as the sound comes to you, is there some stagnant energy that is being brought to the surface? Allow that as well to move through the pillar of light. Trust in a sense that the sound is just energy, and it is only conditioning that makes you experience that sound as necessarily good or bad.
That is quite amazing. Yes, it's quite true. The sound, even the vibration up to a point of just that construction feels like a nice little massage from time to time.
Yes. And if you frame it in that way, you can have a different experience of it.
Well, that leads maybe to two small questions in relationship to that, if I may. Would I be able to convert the dust issue that is happening? Because I do take time to go outside and fully breathe in, yet as I come back, the contrast of the different kind of air kind of kicks my ass in a sense, but I do integrate it after. So would there be a method, maybe a practice to just diminish the current effect of this situation, maybe until I get enough contract to leave?
Is the dust in your very room?
Yes, because they have done construction both outside. So open the window, it comes in, and they've done construction inside. So they weren't necessarily caring for, or they weren't necessarily aware of what they were doing to us.
Can you, in a sense, get an air purifier?
I would potentially need a bigger one.
Right.
With the current finances, I may try to use this small one that I have, yet it may not necessarily do the entire job, but it could help.
It can help. And yes, if you do a bit of extra dusting and closing of any windows or potential openings, that would conceal this situation a bit better.
That is quite amazing. Thank you. I'll get right on that. And I guess for the last branching question, on the topic of going from believing to knowing, especially when it comes to feeling into those meditation, I'd like a bit more clarification, or maybe a balance point, so that I don't necessarily fall into the aspect of overly needing expectation, as in, oh, I need it to be this specific way, or I need to completely trust. But I'd like to push that feeling a tad bit higher, if you understand what I mean.
Well, again, you cannot force yourself to feel a certain way. So the guide is not, again, to have insistence on how you feel, but to be completely aware of how you feel and recognize that it is your awareness of your feeling that transforms them and transmutes them. So it is your awareness without insistence that is the healing zone. And therefore, the more that you stay in the healing zone, the more that the transmutation will take place. Transmutation that is forced actually takes you out of the healing zone. So sometimes individuals will push themselves into a negative energy space in order to move things faster, or they will push themselves into a false positive space to get to the end result faster. Both of these experiences result from having insistence on a particular outcome. So the best thing to do is to stay in that healing zone as much as possible and allow yourself to be with the feeling as much as you can. As you are with the feeling, you can gain perspective as to why, again, the beliefs behind the feeling do not have validity. When you force yourself out of the feeling, you actually give more power to the feeling.
That's fantastic. Great thanks to you guys. And
Thanks to you as well.
here's hoping for contact soon. Thank you.
Yes. Well, you are co-creating it with your passion and with your openness. And again, we would say the healing zone is the most powerful place to be, because it demonstrates zero resistance. It demonstrates the great inner strength. Your willingness to feel decreases the significance of the feelings themselves, whereas your insistence to push them away or make them different makes the feelings more powerful.
That even answered a hidden question I had in my mind. Great, thanks. This is wonderful.
Our thanks to you as well.
Okay, I have a little question then. Could you speak about living life with intention or intentions versus living without intention, just surrendering the will to the divine, or this thy will be done?
Well, if your intention is to surrender, that is still an intention. That is different than somebody who is, in a sense, on autopilot, simply carrying out the intentions of others. Do you see the difference? So the intention to surrender is still an intentional life. Though then we have to define what surrender is. And again, a surrender is not giving up of control. It is a giving up of all of the control that you don't have. So surrender in this sense is not giving yourself to the wind and saying, take me. It is giving yourself to your passion and saying, passion, guide me where I want to go. Now, passion itself doesn't necessarily need to be intentional in the way that some of you in spiritual communities attempt to be intentional. Your passion simply states, I feel excited about doing this. This ignites my inner fire, therefore I'm going to do it. You don't have to understand why or be able to explain why to other people. Again, an attempt to do that will often take you out of your authentic center. You simply do it because you feel the passion for it. You feel the momentum for it. and let that alone be enough. The intention then is to be in alignment with your truth, to be in alignment with yourself.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
Thanks to you as well. If there's anyone who today has not asked any question at all, we open the space for them.
I have a question.
Yes.
It's in regards to curses. Curses have come up in my awareness again recently as I had once done a healing modality called Theta, and it very much integrates kind of all lifetimes. And in that, there were many things kind of attached to me from previous lifetimes that looked like curses and torture devices and a bunch of really other interesting things. So my question is, one, is this strictly a human concept? Does it venture out into other dimensions? And also, how does it relate to our free will and to our intentional life setting in this current lifetime, especially those who maybe aren't even aware of these things? Thank you.
Yes. All right. So, curses and these sorts of experiences are not unique to your planet at all. Your planet, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most light, 1 being the most dense, is about a 5. So there are places out there that are actually much more dense than this one, especially the Orion system, which is, in a sense, karmically entangled with your planet, where many of these dense energies come from, and they come here in order to transmute themselves through other experiences. Understand again that if somebody or a group of people leave the body in experiences of extreme suffering and density, that suffering and density needs to pan out in another physical reality in order to be fully released. So your planet is, in a sense, a place where other realities express some of their density in order to fully transmute it. You are assisting in the evolution in that way. Of course, that might not always be pleasant. Now, as these things come from other lifetimes, yes, there is this bleed-through effect where you can allow for certain frequencies from your soul counterparts to play out in this lifetime. As you get in touch with deeper levels of yourself and deeper levels of your emotional body, you will experience these lingering residual energies that are, in a sense, stuck in certain places. It might manifest again in childhood already when individuals discover they have immense fear of experiences or of types of individuals or of certain places that have no rational link to anything they saw or experienced in this lifetime. And again, by working with modalities such as the one that you describe, or any permissions of that kind that allows you to get in touch with the subconscious and unconscious, those experiences that are bleeding through into this reality from your soul counterparts can be transformed. Again, even these require a certain level of belief in order to be maintained. You have to, in a sense, believe in the power of these negative energies for them to play out in your being. Now, in terms of curses in this lifetime, curses that can take place in the present or in the past of this lifetime, again, understand that in order for a curse to work, just as much as in order for a blessing to work, one has to believe in the reality and the validity of that experience for it to pan out. So if you do believe that you are immune to negative energy sent to you by another person, then it transforms and that energy simply moves right through you. It even reflects, well, it always reflects back onto the other person. You don't have to necessarily accelerate that process, though if again, you do not believe that you can be affected by another person's negative energy, and you maintain your own clear connection with source, that energy will pass right through you. So many individuals who experience genuine curses from other people, which is actually very common in what you might know as some forms of shamanism, deeply believe in the reality of those energies, sometimes referred to as psychic darts. And their belief in it is what allows these psychic wars to play out. But again, when you believe in your oneness with source and you make that your inner knowing and your inner experience, you will transform any negative energy instantaneously, and it will not affect you.
Sometimes I feel like there's belief, and then there's like a new knowing or a new concept comes into play that is at first received as curious, like if curses were the first time. And then I feel like sometimes I'm simply hoping that that is not true, or so there's.
Well, hope is the first step. And if you practice hope long enough, it will become belief. Again, in that hopeful state, you are willing to deconstruct the belief that these negative energies are real. And again, it does require, in a sense, some swimming upstream, because more people believe in the reality of these curses than not. More people are superstitious than not. But as you again come to understand how powerful your beliefs are in creating reality, and that simply by maintaining a positive attitude, you attract positive energy, you can deflect these energies quite quickly. So it is better to not even question what is the difference between hope and belief, and simply celebrate when there is hope, and know that hope will grow and hope will become belief if you can maintain that focus long enough. Yes, be aware of all of the different nuances of vibration. Be aware of the negativity and be aware of the positivity. Do not use the positive energy to attempt to eradicate the negativity, because you cannot do that. Again, simply stay in that healing zone where you are aware of the negativity while working to expand the positivity. And eventually the belief in the negative curses and so on and so forth will dissolve.
And especially because I know that I believe in my innate ability to claim what is real for me, and I am into ceremony and ritual, that sort of thing. Is it also, I can simply decree, I can write it down, what is my truth, there is no curse affecting me, and burn that paper, and so it is? Or is that delusional, or is that too on the hopeful end?
Well, no, there is no too hopeful. Again, you have to let go of the belief that something could be too hopeful, because hope will transform into belief. Delusion is much different than hope. Again, hope is intending that a certain positive unknown variable come to be. Hope is looking to the brightest potential outcome and intending that it be so. So if that or any permission slip of that nature resonates for you, we encourage you to use it, as it is a way for you to shed more layers of that negativity.
That makes sense. Thank you so much.
Our thanks to you as well. And we remind you again, you are creators of your experience of reality. So especially as it comes to what you consider superstition, if you want it to be true and it is positive and it is working for you, then maintain your hope and belief in it. If it evokes fear, caution, or worry in you, that is not a useful superstition. There are many superstitions that can be played out in positive ways, but there are more superstitions that lead individuals to live fear-based lives. So be aware of all of your little superstitions, and we encourage you to shed them, let them go when they evoke fear in you in any way. Is anyone else who has asked not a question at all today? Who has one? All right, then. Let us conclude with our final closing meditation. Close your eyes. Bring your awareness into your body and into your inner reality. Take several deep breaths in, filling your lungs to their maximum capacity, holding the breath for a moment or two, and exhaling, allowing the breath to wash through your body, releasing any holding, releasing any tightness, releasing any stuckness. As you breathe in again, imagine immense light shining from your heart, radiating to every cell in your body. Picture from your heart those brilliant roots of light that go downward, out through the base of your spine and out through your feet into the earth. See those roots of light wrapping around all of the elements of the earth, the crystals, minerals, and minerals, moving through the roots of the other plants and all of the underground water and magma, down to the solid core crystal of the planet. Feel that brilliant heart of the planet vibrating, sending pulses of light and energy up to you. And imagine this energy rising rapidly through your roots and vibrating all of the elements of the planet as it comes into your body, pulling these energies in. You feel this energy slowly filling you from your feet all the way up to the top of your head. Picture an immense and beautiful pillar of light surrounding your body. See it going all the way down to that center of the earth and all the way up to the center of the galaxy. Follow it upwards, billions of light years away, passing through many stars, all the way up to that galactic center. Visualize the light of the galactic center radiating downwards. It's a shower of light that moves rapidly, very rapidly, and pours into the top of your head and traverses down your body, filling your entire body with light and energy that mixes with the deep earth frequency. Taking yourself into your imagination now. Feel yourself waking up as if you're in a dream. Somewhere out in nature, middle of the dark, total darkness. You see the stars, perhaps you see the moon, perhaps not. You may be unsure of where you are. But soon, there comes a guide who's holding a torch, and he hands it to you. The guide points you in a direction, and together you walk. You find yourself with your guide and some other beings surrounding a grand pile of wood, sticks. Your guide instructs you to take that torch and throw it on the pile of sticks. And it lights brilliantly, creating a grand fire. Into this fire you will offer and burn away those things that are no longer serving you. Your guide now starts scanning your body, touching you in various places, tickling you. Feel those sensations in your body. Allow your guide to pull out of you any stuck energy, any negative beliefs, any resistances, any energy that you've taken on from other people, any lingering feelings of distrust or fear, any sensation of unease, anything that relates to your fear of the future, and anything you're carrying from a distant or even not so distant past. Allow your guide to pull out these charges one by one. You can feel them coming to his hand, or their hand, perhaps, whoever your guide may be. Allow yourself to receive what your guide has pulled out from you, so that you can offer it individually into the fire yourself. As you see it in front of you, you have the choice to hold on to it or not. Your guides often do this. They make it clear that a certain pattern, a certain quality of energy is in your field and does not serve you, but they give it to you, and they invite you to throw it away into the fire or to hold on to it. And now you have that choice. If you're really attached to this energy, you can take it back into your body. If it's uncomfortable for you to not have it, you can take it back in. But what we would encourage you to do is to throw that energy into the fire. And as it does, feel the fire transform it. Feel as the fire burns it away, that old aspects of yourself that no longer serve you also vanish, moving into that great immense transmutation field. Perhaps the fire lights up with brilliant colors and energies as you do this. Allow your guide to continue scanning you and pulling these energies out, transforming them, releasing them. Noticing with each of these energies, where has it come from? How long have you held? And celebrating that now is the time to live without it, to let it go. Many of you have learned the story that you've come to this world to gain, to accumulate. And you see so many examples of the story that your life is about amassing wealth and things. But at a soul level, you did not come here to take on more. You've come here to let go, to let go of many experiences for your soul counterparts and for this collective. Through your journey, as you take on these collectively held burdens as your own, you are given the choice. Do I keep this so that I remain like others, so that I can stay in their parallel reality? Or do I give it to the fire of transmutation so that I can walk my own path and live in my own reality? Allow your guides to show you more and more of these holding patterns. Hold them out, cast them to the flames, and watch the fire rejoice. Know that this element of fire is always here to consume. It creates and it destroys. And thus is the process of your life, creative destruction. Remember, you've incarnated in times of deconstruction, of release, where your collective is now, while few of you know it, transforming the burden that has been held for thousands of years on your planet. As you reach this point of collective escalation, you enter in the times of the most potent transmutation. And know that it is here to happen through you. So let the fire take it. Let the fire consume it. Let the fire birth you anew. And the more that you shed and release into the fire, allow the fire of passion within you to grow stronger, to grow brighter, to enliven you, to fill you with life and vital energy, so that you can live this life in the highest state of joy, awakening the fire in others, and allowing your collective to transform more and more. Release any last bits that you would into the fire, and give thanks to the fire, and give thanks to all. Know that this fire will be here whenever you wish. And perhaps you might want to create another fire or use a candle in your home, in your life, to accelerate this process. Carry this flame on within you. As you're ready, taking the fire within, taking it to your heart, and feeling warmth spread through your body with a smile. Preparing to open your eyes and return when your time is right. We thank all of you and each and every one of you as individuals for co-creating this process, for co-creating this collective transmutation on your earth. You play a vital role, and we hope that you may remember it and live it as the important sacred work that it really is. Our love and thanks is with you now and always, and we wish you a pleasant rest of your day. Alrighty.
Super mega powerful, Dante. Thank you. And everyone for the
You're welcome.
questions. Wow.
Thanks for joining, my friends.
Thank you, Dante. It was amazing as always.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So happy to hear that. Yeah.
Ah, wonderful.
Thanks for being here, everybody. Thank you, Barbara.
Hey, thank you,
Thanks,
Bastiani.
Bastiani,
Epic hosting.
for being a great host. Thanks, Josh, for always
Dante.
providing them the timestamps later for people to watch back again. Thank you, Crystal. Yay.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Angela. Welcome. Good to see you.
Loving your new hair.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Me too. It's so
Yeah.
much softer and easier to deal with. I put this in my nose too yesterday. Hope you guys noticed it.
Awesome.
The meditation was so powerful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
perfect.
glad to hear that. Ceremonial fire.
Yeah.
Season of Sagittarius still. We're burning.
Wow.
All right, everybody. Well, I guess I'll get going. Reminder that the private session tomorrow, if anyone wants to join, you can send me an email and send me a donation, and I'll see you then. And also, donations for this session is super appreciated and greatly supported. And channeling course information is on the website dantestarshine.com/course. So check it out and feel free to schedule a free consultation with me about it if you think it's right for you. Know that it isn't just about channeling, it's about really deepening in our intuitive healing work so that you can be kind of your own healer in a much deeper way. Carry that gift with all others in your life. Nice.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, welcome.
Bye.
Bye for now.
Bye.
See some of you tomorrow and hope to see you guys again next week.
It's tomorrow?
The private session's tomorrow.
Is it the same time?
Yeah, same time, 11.
Nice.
Yeah. Because again, like if we did it every other week as usual, like next week would be Christmas Eve, and I think that would be a little bit not as ideal.
Yeah.
Right.
Just assuming.
Yeah. Will there
Even
be a
though
transmission?
I don't celebrate that.
Me neither.
What was that? What was that?
Will there be a transmission next Thursday?
Yes. Yeah, I think that's the 23rd of December now, so that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, if you could make it, it's cool. If not, it'll still flow.
Yeah, I will be there.
Okay, cool. Lovely.
Hey, how's the book, by the way?
Going, like a lot of people signed up to help with the editing the transcription, so hopefully most of them will follow through with that. But I also have been having more momentum with it, and I'm projecting the release date of February 22. So 22222.
Yes.
I would really like to release it by 22222 or
Oh,
on
sounds
2.
great.
But if that's gonna happen, it needs a lot of like. So thanks for saying that, because you remind me that I need to send you another voice message about the other thing. So
Awesome.
yeah.
On the ready. Let's do this.
Yeah, I'll do that in like an hour
22222.
or so. Yeah, I need to go eat because I haven't done that at all today. Another weird start to the day as usual.
It's all good. Everything's in flux.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks everybody. Much love. Blessings.
Thank you so much.
Love.
Super love
Talk
for
later.
all of you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye bye.